Tonight, band geeks steal the spotlight.
Plus, an unusual singing contest on campus. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for March 29th, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University's Confucius Institute now officially has a new home. Officials from Troy and Chinese universities cut the ribbon on the Institute's new home in Bibb Graves Hall this morning. Kendra Richards has the story.
Dragon dancing, Chinese dresses, and music. Troy University joined hands with the Chinese to expand the knowledge of students about Chinese culture through the Confucius Institute.
I think it's a big day not only for Troy University and our partner university, Hubei University in China, but also for the state of Alabama. I think it's through partnerships such as this that our people will be well served, and we're very proud to be the host, Alabama's host for the Confucius Institute.
Faculty and students gathered around Bibb Graves to witness a signing agreement between the Hebei Province Ministry of Education and the Alabama Department of Education. Chancellor Hawkins believes that this institute will help the state gain a relationship with Chinese people.
It'll focus on language, helping the people of Alabama understand the history and the culture of China. And our Confucius Institute will be somewhat distinctive in that the third dimension will be economic development. We think we can help all the communities in Alabama and indeed the state economically by helping create relationships.
Not only will the Institute help Alabama economically, but students will understand the Chinese students and become well-rounded in Chinese culture.
Having a chance to really visit the Confucius Institute, hear about the cultural differences, hear about what makes China unique, but also what makes us the same, and how we can use that experience to bridge the oftentimes gap between our two cultures and two nations so that we can work more closely together.
Guest speaker Erwin Su believes that the Institute is a great opportunity for American students to learn the Chinese language and make friends with the Chinese students.
Become a very important gateway to reach out to China and to be friends with Chinese people.
Kendra Richards, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy's Confucius Institute was established in November of 2008 and is part of a global network of over 200 Confucius Institutes in 50 countries.
Tonight, band geeks will take over the Claudia Crosby stage, but these guys have nothing to do with the sound of the South. It's the semester's musical production from the theater department. Deatra Montgomery gives us a preview.
The Claudia Crosby Theater will be full of music, however, will not be from the sound of the South, but band geeks. Cast members say the musical is full of what you might expect in a tale about teenage life: laughter, love, and drama. But in its essence, it's a story about finding one's place in the world.
The play is very stereotypical. It's based on a group of high school kids, and they kind of have trouble finding their voice. They get picked on at school by the jocks, of course. You know, it's very like stereotypical high school experience, and a lot of love triangles happen, and it's basically just a group of kids who are trying to find their way in this world.
The cast is anticipating the show to be full of fun and excitement. However, they do hope the audience appreciate the moral message that it's okay to be yourself.
It's a lot of fun. I really hope that the audience comes in and really enjoys what they see. It's very colorful and bright and very showy, and it's very fun.
Our last song is called Embrace Your Inner Geek, and not to give away too much, but in the end I think everyone realizes that they need to like themselves for who they are before they can, you know, get mixed up in some other feelings.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy TrojanVision News.
Band Geeks opens tonight at 7:30 in the Claudia Crosby Theater. It will run throughout the weekend with shows tomorrow and Saturday night, all at 7:30.
Tomorrow afternoon, Troy University students will start a 12-hour quest to raise money for research for cancer. Rachel Scarborough gives us a preview of this year's Relay for Life.
Friday night, people from around Troy will lace up their walking shoes for a good cause. The American Cancer Society's annual Relay for Life event brings people together from all walks of life.
Relay for Life is a chance for the community or school, in our case, to come together for a cause that benefits and raises money for the American Cancer Society. And Relay for Life is kind of their event every year for different communities throughout the United States to come together, raise money for the fight against cancer.
This year's theme, Come a Zero, Leave a Hero, will showcase all the team's inner creativity.
All the teams will be represented by a certain hero, and that team will just have t-shirts maybe that represent that hero, and banners and food, all surrounding that one hero's theme.
So, why does Troy University relay?
There's so many people who are affected. Although we might not have a lot of students on campus who may be survivors, a lot of people come from families who have an experience dealing with cancer. And I feel like whenever you get this many people, especially a size of school like Troy is, there's too many stories for there not to be a relay here at Troy. Just a simple donation ties you into the great cause. Whether it's 1 cent or $100, you are a part of Relay for Life, and it's because of those people that you know who make it so willing to give.
During the 12-hour relay event, participants will have a little fun while supporting this great cause.
There's crazy, wacky games that aren't always your typical games, but we do have volleyball, horseshoe, a monster pong game, and then some, like I said, some other wacky and crazy games.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The relay starts at 3 o'clock on Tailgate Terrace. The opening ceremonies will start at 6. Well, Judson, all week, Troy University fraternities and sororities have been involved in competitions to earn points for Greek Week.
That's right, Bailey, and last night they earned 30 points if they participated in a Greek sing-off, but it wasn't your typical singing competition. Tiffany Lester shows us more.
Sounds of pop and country songs replaced the sounds of basketball buzzers in Sartain Hall on Wednesday night as Troy University's Greek organizations gathered together for a sing-off. But even though it was called the Greek Sing, there was no actual singing.
What we originally had planned was something like a lip-singing contest, and I think that kind of evolved into a dancing contest.
The Greek Sing was one of the 2012 Greek Week Games, and even though there were no winners for this competition, what is the motivation to participate in the rest of the games?
The Greek sorority or fraternity with the highest number of points wins, and they become the Greek Week champs.
Getting up on stage can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes, but since there was no winner of the Greek Sing, participants could focus on just having fun.
Tonight was really just designed to be like a fun night, just so everybody could relax and cut loose. Everybody that participated was going to get the same amount of points, so nobody really had to be stressing about, oh, I hope we win, I hope we win. It was just a night just to cut back and relieve some of the stress that Greek Week often causes on organizations.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun practicing, participating, getting involved. It was a lot of fun.
It was an experience. It was something new. We switched up, played a country song, got the crowd involved. It was pretty fun.
Tiffany Lester, Troy TrojanVision News.
The next Greek Week event will be Field Game Sunday at 2 on Sorority Hill.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, an execution was halted today for a man set to die for the 1982 murder for hire of a Muscle Shoals businessman, but his legal battle is far from over. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals denied Alabama's request to reconsider the stay of execution for Thomas Douglas Arthur.
In Gadsden, blues singer and harmonica player Jeremy Boogie McCain has died in his hometown. He was 81. McCain's niece, Mary Elizabeth McCain Wise, said he died yesterday at Riverview Regional Medical Center, where he was being treated for a bone marrow disease.
And in Tuscaloosa, the Southern Poverty Law Center says an Alabama school district will allow same-sex couples to attend prom. The Civil Rights Center announced today that the Tuscaloosa County school systems will let gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender students attend proms with same-sex dates.
Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, the softball team played at home last night. Tiffany Lester will be in next with sports to let us know how the Trojans did.
But first, the new video is raising questions about a self-defense claim in a Florida shooting. We'll have more after the break.
This time, video of George Zimmerman in police custody after he shot Trayvon Martin. I'm Randall Kingston in Sanford, Florida. I'll have that story.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
There's a lot more to somebody being successful in society than just their diploma. We're in the business of making well-rounded individuals.
They taught me so much more than skills. At Troy, they truly believe that one person can make a difference.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. We're not trying to be all things to all people, but what we do very well.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson Garner at the Global News Desk. Judson.
Thanks, Bailey. New video of a man who shot and killed Trayvon Martin is raising new questions about his claim of self-defense. Randall Pinkston is in Sanford, Florida.
This video, released by the city of Sanford, Florida, shows George Zimmerman in handcuffs being taken into the police station. Zimmerman told police he shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense after the teenager punched him and slammed his face into the concrete. But the attorney for the Martin family says the video tells a different story.
There is no evidence from that video that he beat his head against the concrete. There is no visible evidence that his nose is broken.
Zimmerman's father is speaking for the first time and says his son's nose was broken. Former Judge Robert Zimmerman told Fox 35 in Orlando, quote, Trayvon Martin got on top of him and just started beating him. Other than Zimmerman, no witnesses have come forward to say they saw how the fight started, but some neighbors heard screams and called 911.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes. The question is, who cried out for help? Zimmerman's father insists it's his son's voice, but Trayvon's mother believes it's her son's voice on the tape.
That's my baby. That's my son that was yelling.
Investigators are hiring a voice recognition expert to analyze the 911 calls. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, Sanford, Florida.
And that'll wrap things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Judson. And now Tiffany Lester joins us for a look at sports. So Tiffany, baseball, softball, both in action last night. How did the game turn out?
It's true. We did have softball in Troy last night and baseball was away, but both of the outcomes were not as we would hope for, and I'll get into that right now. One night after beating one in-state rival 9-1, the Trojan baseball team just couldn't make it 2 in a row against in-state opponents. A 3-run second inning helped Alabama State defeat the Trojans 4-2 in last night's game in Montgomery. The Troy bullpen held Alabama State to just 3 hits over the final 5 innings, but the Trojans stranded 9 base runners in the game. Logan Pierce reached base all 4 times. He came to the plate with a pair of singles and 2 walks, while Jacob Nixon added a pair of hits. Cass Abercrombie was charged with the loss after he allowed 3 runs, only 1 earned, on 4 hits in 2 innings. The Trojans play host to Arkansas State this weekend in a 3-game Sun Belt Conference series at Riddle Pace Field. First pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Friday, 7 p.m. on Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. Saturday's game will be televised by the Sun Belt Network. And the Trojan softball team was back in action last night as they played host to in-state and conference opponent, the South Alabama Jaguars. Courtney Addison has the details of that game.
The Trojans returned back to action Wednesday night against conference opponent the University of South Alabama. Ashley Rainey got the start on the mound, allowing 11 hits and 6 runs while striking out 3. Coach Melanie Davis says she feels fatigue affected Rainey's pitching performance.
I told the team just now, I feel like that I made a mistake not making a pitching change earlier. Ashley did say that she was fatigued. You know, she threw full game against Auburn over the weekend. She beat Lafayette over the weekend and then had to play again without run support on Sunday. So she was tired. Her pitches weren't breaking as much. We've been spoiled because she's been so strong and been able to do so much for us.
The Trojans got off to a hot start during the beginning of the game against the Jags, scoring 3 runs within the first half of the game. But South continued to slowly chip away at Troy's lead. The game was tied 3-3 going into the top of the 7th. But it was during the 7th that the Jags pushed 3 runs across the plate. Also during the final inning, Sarah Thomas came out of the bullpen to end things off for the Trojans. Troy wasn't able to overcome the 3-run deficit and lost to the Jags 6-3.
Did get away from the approach that we knew we had to have to beat Campbell. The difference in the game was South capitalizing on some pitches.
Troy seemed to have a hard time keeping momentum throughout the game, and when something finally did go the team's way, it seemed like bad luck stood in their way.
I think it was not so much that we did all that much wrong. It was just that, you know, the softball gods were smiling on them. They weren't smiling on us, because when we did hit the ball hard, it was straight at people. We hit the home run, solo shot. Fortunately, we get a chance to regroup and face them at the end of the season, and it'll be a different story when we go to Mobile.
Courtney Addison, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The softball team will return to the diamond on Saturday, March 31st against the FIU Golden Panthers. Game time is set for 1 p.m. at the Troy Softball Complex. After having over a month off, the rodeo team will be hitting the road today to compete in the Arkansas Monticello Boll Weevil Stampede in Monticello, Arkansas. The men's team heads into today's competition ranked 4th in the Ozark region with 1,670 points. Roping has been the highlight of the season for the men's team. Lane Taylor, Jacob Locke, and Zach Mabry and Nelson Wyatt are all ranked in the top 10. The women's team is sitting in 2nd place with 1,185 points, and Brittany Droughty is the only Trojan ranked in the top 10 standings for the barrel racing category. So Judson Bailey, we didn't have the greatest outcome. As she does each week, Danielle Percival will bring you all the latest news and scores for today's Trojan Sports Now and Tonight. For a look at what will be on the show, here's Danielle Percival.
Coming up on Trojan Sports Now, we'll look back at the softball team beating a top 10 team at home. Plus, we'll bring you all the details on what will be a busy weekend on the Troy campus with softball, baseball, and even a little football with the annual T-Day game. All that and more is ahead on Trojan Sports Now.
Trojan Sports Now airs tonight and Friday night at both 7 and 11. So again, Judson and Bailey, we didn't have the greatest outcome for the baseball and softball game last night, but hopefully this weekend it will be better. And to stay updated with the sports, you can watch Trojan Sports Now tonight.
All right, absolutely, and definitely wish both of them good luck, both teams this weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Tiffany.
Thanks.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor learns how area runners are helping Troy students.
But first, we've been enjoying sunny weather all week, but the threat of rain could put a damper on weekend plans. What can we expect coming up, Courtney?
Well, I hope everyone enjoys today's sunny weather because we may need to stay inside for the beginning of the weekend, but I'll have more on that coming up in weather.
Today is Saturday, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday, water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday, let's move Monday, swap a snack Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Courtney Addison joins us for a look at weather.
So, Courtney, this week has been very good as far as weather goes. I mean, we've seen some warm temperatures, sunny skies, but apparently this nice weather is not going to stick around much longer.
Exactly, Judson. We've been very fortunate to have beautiful weather throughout the week, but I hope everyone enjoyed that, because there is a strong possibility that we could be experiencing a lot of rain tomorrow, but I'll get into that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. We see not much action on the quad, a beautiful day outside, partly cloudy skies with light winds outside. I hope everyone goes outside and enjoys a nice afternoon on the quad. And taking a look at our current conditions, we see mostly cloudy skies, temperature at 81, dew point at 52, humidity at 36%, barometer at 30.09 and steady, winds coming in from the east at 1 miles per hour. And looking at today's stats, we had a high of 83, a low of 60, there was no rain, sun rose at 6:34 a.m., sunset at 7:02 p.m. And now taking a look at temperatures from around the state, we see Mobile coming in at 78, as well as Dothan, Troy and Montgomery both coming in at 81, with Birmingham and Huntsville seeing temperatures at 79, and Phoenix City coming in at 80. Sunny skies with partly cloudy in some areas for the most part around the state. And looking at our current temperatures around the southeast, we see most everyone is experiencing very warm temperatures, with the exception of Florida. They're even breaking into the 80s, but if we look back towards the southern tip of Texas, they're seeing temperatures in the high 80s, close to 90, and 88 and 85. So we could be possibly looking to see that weather coming our way in the next couple of days. And looking at our current temperatures around the United States, we see for the most part everyone is seeing very warm weather, and in the west their temperature has rose a very significant amount, but the northeast is still seeing those temperatures in the 30s and the 40s. And looking at our current surface for the United States, we see lots of pressure systems developing out west, so we could be seeing those coming into our area in the next couple of days, but they don't have any effect on us right now. And looking closer into our area, we see rain in Louisiana that could be coming our way. That's what we'll be seeing possibly tomorrow and beginning into Saturday. In our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we could be seeing anywhere to a ½ inch to an inch of rain coming through our area in the next 48 hours. And if you travel up north, they're seeing a little bit more rain all the way up to 3 inches. And Friday, we see rains continuing to stay in our area, hanging around. We could see anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches of rain, so be very careful if you're going to be traveling home or for your weekend plans. Same as Saturday, moved out a little bit for the most part. We're still going to be seeing that ½ inch of rain. If you're heading into Georgia, they're still going to be experiencing the more heavier rain, as well as the panhandle of Florida. And Sunday, it's for the most part moved out of our area with the exception of the southern tip of Florida. And if we look back west, they're seeing a little bit of rain and icy conditions, and also seeing very heavy winds. And Monday, moved out of our area, but we also see more rain developing in Louisiana and the tip of Texas. And for tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of rain, with winds coming in from the south-southwest at 4 miles per hour. Those winds can be light and variable. We also have a low of 57. And for tomorrow's forecast, we have scattered afternoon thunderstorms with a 60% chance of rain, with winds coming in from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a high of 76. So make sure you keep that umbrella and your rain boots on hand as you're on campus tomorrow. Be very cautious of your surroundings if you're going home and traveling throughout the weekend. And looking at our class outlook, at 7 a.m. we have 62 at 7 a.m. Make sure you keep that light jacket on you. At 10 a.m. we see 71. 1 p.m. we see 74. And that temperature should stay constant throughout the afternoon. But make sure you make plans to stay inside, because there is that possibility of rain. And taking a look at our 4-day forecast, we see Friday has a high of 76 with a low of 61. Saturday 82 with a low of 58. Sunday with a high of 87, a low of 62. And Monday with a high of 85. And there is that 60% chance of rain, and there continues throughout the weekend and into Monday. So be just very careful as you're traveling throughout the weekend, because there is that possibility that we could be seeing that rain. Hopefully it'll move out rather quickly, so we'll be able to enjoy the last part of our weekend and the Greek week games, and enjoy the weather for the baseball and the rest of the sports this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like Friday and Saturday will be pretty rough, but maybe Sunday and Monday will look a little bit better.
Hopefully so.
All right, thanks a lot, Courtney.
Thank you.